Oh, God, we're so close. So close to taking points off Liverpool. Unfortunately, they were just a little bit more clinical on the day. But I'm still very proud of this team, very proud of this performance. You can clearly see improvements compared to last season. All right, everyone, welcome back to American Blues Podcast. Let's talk about Liverpool 2, Chelsea 1. One of the toughest away matches in the whole league. Anfield, you can see why. That crowd is insane, but you know what? We were up for it and we gave them a game. And last year we were absolutely played off the park in like the first 20 minutes and then the game was over. And then when we played them in the cup, I mean, we got beaten by their C team. So initially, super frustrating. I really wanted some points out of this. That would have given us such a good boost going into the next run of games. But you know what? It's still a really long season ahead. There's so much positive in this performance and the players. Yeah, just overall, we look like a team. We look like we know what we're doing. And on a different day, just a little bit better in the final third. That's all we needed. It was just better in the final third and to cut out some stupid defensive mistakes. Sounds simple, but you know, in order to win these huge matches, you essentially have to be perfect. And this team needs to slowly learn how to be perfect. But let's go through the game real quick. I thought first half, big surprise starting lineup, starting Reece James, Lavia, and Gusto on the left. Ooh, I did not expect that. I had thought about it. I was like, man, I don't know if he's going to risk these players, but he went for it. And you can see why. I cannot believe how good Reece James and Lavia both look. It looked like both of them had never left. It looked like Reece James had been playing for the whole last 2 seasons, no breaks. He actually looked confident in his body. He was going in on challenges. He looked like a completely different player than the last few seasons. When he would come back from injury, you could just tell he just wasn't sure of it, but he looked sure of it today. And yeah, I thought both of them were amazing, especially Romeo Lavia. What a shout out to him. Man, he's like a crazy combination of Caicedo's energy, Enzo's calmness on the ball, passing ability, and I think he's the most press-resistant player we have on the team, even better than Palmer. Like, no matter where he is in that midfield, no matter how many players around him, he knows exactly what he needs to do with that ball. What an unbelievable player. It's just, if we can stay healthy, I think we have some of the best midfielders in the whole league. And I've been saying that for seasons now. We just haven't had enough of a healthy midfield to show that off. And then Gusto, I thought he was good on the left back playing against Salah. Of course, we had some shaky moments, but it's Salah. He's going to make a difference. He's been a difference maker and one of the best wingers on the planet for years now, and he's shown that consistently. And look at him today, a goal and an assist. Yeah. Amazing. First half, of all the big things, I think the major thing is obviously giving away that penalty. Colwill got the wrong side of Salah, kneed him in the back. It wasn't called initially. They overturned it on VAR. Is it soft? Sure. Do I think it's deserved? Absolutely. I think that's a penalty. I don't think you can argue all that much about it. Another big call, which is an on-field call for a penalty, and then that was overturned by VAR. It was when Sanchez came out, got the ball, but then completely took out their player. I think he tried his hardest to not get the player. He got low, stood his ground, got the ball, player went over him. I'm glad VAR overturned it. I think that was a fair challenge, especially by a goalie. He didn't go out of his way to lunge into it. He kept his legs down. It wasn't a crazy challenge. Yeah, I think that was a correct call. And then that was about it for the first half. My overall thoughts on the first half is that we started the game so well. I think we completely outplayed Liverpool in the first half. And if it wasn't for that stupid challenge on Salah, we would have been fine. We would have gone into halftime 0-0. We played really well. We were defensively solid. We really knew how to play around their midfield. They didn't press us too aggressively, very different than the Klopp Liverpool, which would just, press people into oblivion. This one, they took it calm, but the second the ball got into midfield, they were doing a man-to-man coverage. And we honestly managed to play through that really well. We had good patterns in play. We knew what we were doing. It just, the few things that I saw that were an issue is that our wing play just wasn't great today. I thought Madueke had a few really good looks on his side where he was taking people on. Unfortunately, on the left side, Sancho, the player that he is he's very much of a technical player. He likes to slow the play down, work the pass. He's not the same player as Madueke or Neto, where they just focus on beating their player. And I think at times when we actually got the ball through to the final third, and our game plan was to move the ball quick, progress it quick from defense into attack. Unfortunately, every time the ball got to Sanchez, we just slowed to the crawl. We gave Liverpool a chance to get back into defense and set up their shape. And then after that, it was just really hard to break down. Liverpool's good at defending this year. As you can tell, this is only their third goal conceded all season, or third or fourth. Yeah, probably their fourth, which is just absolutely insane statistics. 8 games, only four goals. Absolutely wild. But you can see like the whole team defends all together as a unit. And the only way to break that down is either through really intricate passing or really quick ball movements into the final third. And unfortunately, every time Sancho got the ball, the play just kind of died down through him. So I completely understand his change at halftime. We needed more pace on the wing. We needed more one-on-one ability. And Neto, I think, was a great replacement. And then second half started kind of the same. We were playing well still. And then Caicedo gets a great through pass to Jackson. Good on Jackson for splitting both defenders, getting onto the ball, really clean finish into the corner. There was a lot for him to do there because he had plenty of pressure behind him, and he didn't scuff it. He scored it. Initially ruled as offside, but VAR correctly overturned. He was onside, being played on by Konate's leg. So yeah, it was great. But then, absolutely unforgivable, which is right after you score a goal, you fall asleep and give away another stupid goal. This one, Curtis Jones, I had to watch this several times on replay just to see how could we have left him so open in the middle of the box. And even on replay, like he starts off near the 50-yard line. Caicedo's kind of closer to the ball. Our midfield just wasn't marking him. Like nobody was marking him. James was on the wing. We had 2 defenders marking their players. And then, you had Gusto marking Salah, and then just nobody was marking Jones. And he just literally strolled into midfield, into the box. Perfect cross by Salah. Good on him for recognizing that he was wide open. And then, it was a simple finish, just 1-on-1 with the goalie. Not much else Sanchez could do. But just a complete breakdown. I don't necessarily think this is a fault of any one player. You can maybe say Caicedo should have marked him since he was the closest player, but Caicedo was marking his territory and he was moving slightly towards the ball because his partner Lavia was also moving towards the ball. I think it was just a complete breakdown in communication at the back of not yelling out who to mark who, and they just let that one slip by. And then after that we made 3 huge changes. Reece James, Lavia, Tosin all came off for Vega, Badiashile, and Enzo Fernandez. And I think all these changes made sense. There's just no way James and Lavia would have played 90 plus minutes. I would not have wanted that for them. We need to protect them so they stay healthy. So those changes made sense. And honestly, good on the subs. I think they all played very well. Vega was strong in the left back. You could tell he's not as good going forward as someone like Reece James or Gusto, but that's just not really him as a player. But I think defensively, he really kept Salah at bay. Just from physically, he was there. And then I kind of like the little battle that he had with Darwin Nunez. They were both getting incredibly physical with each other. Neither of them wanted to give up. And there's several pretty good shoulder to shoulders and kind of yellows for both. But I like a player like Vega. I like that he doesn't shy from the competition. He's able to stand up. He's obviously physically an absolute unit, and sometimes we need that in the defense. And good on Badiashile. I've given him so much shit over the past year and a half. He looked good today. He was using his strength, which is his physicality. He had good passes. He didn't really fall asleep. Overall, no complaints over Badiashile. Yeah, none. And then overall second half, I feel like we created enough chances to at least tie the game. There was one great chance off of a free kick by Cole Palmer, hit it in. Vega kind of open in the middle of the box, hit it over. And of course, at the very end, Pedro Neto put an incredible cross to the far post. And Nkunku was just, it was inches, man, just inches. Either Nkunku a little bit faster or the cross was just closer to him a little bit. We would have had a tap in at the back post, would have been a tying goal. But, that's the difference. That's the whole difference between these top level games, which is just you have to be perfect. And the team that is just a little bit more perfect, a little bit more clinical, is going to win these matches. I still think second half we gave them a good game. There was not a point where we just gave up. There were times that was frustrating, which is at the end of the game where we're chasing to give away cheap giveaways because of bad first touches, bad passing. That's infuriating, right? Like, we need a little bit more composure when we're chasing games at the very end. We need to be putting consistent pressure on that goal just again and again and again. And I think with time, we'll get that. So overall, let's go over some positive, which is mainly I want to give a big shout out to Reece James and Lavia. Both of them looked amazing. They've been both injured for a while, especially Reece James. You never know how they're going to be, especially there's a huge difference between being fit for training and being match fit and then being mentally fit for a game like this. Super high pressure game. And I think both of them were up for it. And that's fantastic to see. It's always good to have our captain back. When he's on, he's still one of the best right backs in the world. And I still fully believe that. And hopefully he can stay healthy and may this continue. Another big positive, which is still Enzo Maresca. I felt like apart from a few brain farts from the players of falling asleep, our game plan was solid. We came out with a plan. We were dominating Liverpool at home. We had good patterns of play. This team looks miles better than last season. You know, you have to understand, like last season, we didn't stand a chance against Liverpool. There aren't that many teams that can go to Anfield and give them a legitimate game and then also play better. So I'm loving the real progression that we're seeing game to game. And we'll talk about the negatives when we get there in a little bit. But yeah, I'm proud of this team. I'm proud of the effort. The away fans were amazing. We really pushed them till the death. And I think if you play this game again, we could have easily tied. And if we had finished more of our chances, we could have even won. Now, for the negatives, which is really, like I said, kind of the theme of this negatives is that we weren't perfect in defense. And we gave away 2 silly mistakes. And against a team like Liverpool, who are clinical, who's going to take advantage, we just cannot do that. And there are teams that are even more clinical than Liverpool. They missed plenty of chances too today on their own. So yeah, I think stuff like that will come with time. And I think under Maresca, we will only get better and better and start to cut out these mistakes. Another negative, which is a lot of people are going to crap on Palmer for, not getting another goal, not getting an assist. But overall, there were plenty of times in today where he wasn't the one that was trying to go forward. He would get the ball, look up, not really have any options, recycle it backwards. He was not as dynamic as his usual self. He wasn't finding space like he usually could. And of his shooting chances, I would say he missed 2 really scoreable chances. There was one on the right side of the box where he cut in with his left foot in the first half and then hit it over the bar. That's a chance that I think he should be at least putting on target and giving Keller something to think about. And then the second, even better chance came, I think, in the second half where he just had a kind of a weak shot with his right foot. But yeah, I still think he was there. He's obviously present through the game. You can tell by my shirt. I still love Palmer. I'm not going to crap on him too much. He's saved us time and time again over the last, 14 months. So he's going to have off games sometimes where, he's not going to get multiple assists and goals every single game. Now, to be truly elite, I do agree you need to show up in these huge games. And I will argue and say that he did put in a great cross at the end. And if only Vega was able to finish that chance, we would have been better. And then there was also a chance in the second half where if Neto just put in a better cross to him instead of hitting it into Kelleher, Palmer was in a goal. He was wide open in the middle of the box. So that's not really on Palmer. He made the run. He was there. And I think if Neto just had a better cross on a different day, we would have had the tying goal. And another negative, which is for Sancho, I think, again, in a game like today where we're not trying to break down a low block, where it's all about speed and progression through the midfield into the final third, I think Sancho getting the ball to his feet, slowing the play down, really stopped our momentum in terms of the final third in the first half. And then the last negative, which is just we just need to be better in the final third. And I think that's something that will happen with time. We're already looking better in terms of creating chances than last year. One of the most difficult things for a team is to learn how to play in that final third, right? Especially against a team that's as good as Liverpool with as good of a defense as they do. We still created chances. It wasn't like we were completely lost. I think with just time and experience and consistency, these players will know how to put in the proper pass, the proper cross, So we have the best chance of breaking teams down like Liverpool. Yeah. So overall thoughts, initially very disappointed, gutted. I really thought we could take points off of Liverpool, but you know what? Overall, I think this was a great performance by the team. It's still showing progress. I'm still super proud of them. This is clearly a team that's acting like a team now. They're playing for each other. They're playing for the shirt. Great goal for Jackson. Even though Palmer had kind of a quiet day, you could tell everybody on the team was on the same page. And I think with time and with more practice sessions together and more pressure games like this team will only get better and better and better. And of course, it is so nice to see Reece James and Lavia Beck. So see you guys at the next game. Peace.